You know, there can be little doubt in my mind that there are more Ferraris here in Miami than in most cities in America. So what trip to the Miami Auto Show would be complete without a look at the F12 Berlinetta? Coming up now on the Fast Lane Car. How many horsepower?
740.
740, I'm sorry. And what size is the engine?
It's a 6.3 liter V12.
V12.
It's actually the same engine that will be featured in the LaFerrari coming out next year.
So normally aspirated?
Normally aspirated.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what's the price?
They started at $323,000.
If you can get your hands on one, right?
Well, if you can get your hands on one. They started by approximately $323,000 and they go up to about $400 depending on options.
And what do you think is kind of the secret sauce in the F12?
I think basically what you have here is raw horsepower compared to a very, very tailored interior. So you have a full luxury car that can be used on a daily basis with immense amounts of power and speed. It's an interesting balance. You'll notice on the front is that the F12 has these side scopes.
Yeah, pretty cool. There's a big kind of hole there. What's that up?
That actually serves as a spoiler to keep the car grounded.
Okay.
As opposed to having a big wing hanging off the back, Ferrari was able to use these spoilers to keep the car down.
So it looks like the air gets channeled.
All the lines on the car actually have a function, so they look beautiful obviously, but they're also used for air channeling. So in this case, the air comes up through here, comes in through the scoop, and then it is scooped across the side. So the entire car was designed with the use of an air tunnel like a Formula One car. And this color is kind of interesting. Tell me about its. Well, it looks like metal actually. Well, that's what it's actually called. It's a satin aluminum finish, and it's called Aluminio Opaco, and it's an out-of-range paint color done by the Ferrari tailor-made program. It's gorgeous.
So what does that mean, out of range? I mean, you have to have specially requested?
Correct. It's not something that you can normally order. It has to be done through a special area of the factory where Ferrari has the ability to do anything that you want, any color you want. But it has to be done through a separate area of the factory. All
right, so open up inside. Let's take a look at the inside. Obviously, you've got the Ferrari steering wheel, which is kind of unique because all the controls.
Correct. So we have a carryover of the now it's become cross-board, the Ferrari steering wheel with shift indicator lights on the top.
Yep.
So these light up as you get to your red line to let you know when to shift. You have your turn signals right here. You have lights. You have windshield wipers. And then you have the famous Manettino, which allows you to change your traction control settings all on the go while you're driving. Much like the 458 and the FF, the car is very driver-oriented, whereas you don't have a radio screen in the center. You have a gauge cluster with two screens, one on the left and one on the right. The one on the left is for all vehicle diagnostics, and the one on the right is for all radio and media.
So it looks like everything is tilted toward the driver-centric.
Absolutely.
Very much puts the driver in the center of the driving, which is the way it should be, I suspect.
What you'll notice in this car is that it has immense cabin room. You're fairly tall, and I'm sure you would fit very comfortably. You also have full Alcantara custom interior in this car.
Any other aerodynamic features we should be looking at?
You see more scoops in the back, and you'll notice that the entire rear of the car is also very sculpted.
Yep.
And the sculpting is also for air channeling, specifically for air channeling. So the air wraps around the back and goes down towards the diffuser. And so the air actually goes faster underneath than over the top and makes the car very stable.
And how much room is in the hatchback? How much room can you...
Let me show you.
Yeah, pop it open. Let's see if you can use it for golf clubs and such.
Golf clubs, that's a good question. I don't think golf clubs, a smaller bag possibly.
How about
it does have a cutout on the side, so you would be able to put a smaller bag this way and down. You could definitely fit a couple helmets in there and all your track gear.
Yeah. Have you driven one?
I have.
And what's it like to drive?
It is scary fast. There's no other way to describe it. It's very, very comfortable, more than you would expect. And but when you step on it, it is mind-blowing.
Yeah, can you light up those rear wheels pretty easily?
It actually has a very advanced traction control setting, so
if you turn it
all the way off, you won't go anywhere. You just sit there burning smoke. It's fun.
All right, start it up and burn some rubber here. Let's burn some carpet.
They don't let us. There's a fire marshal. I would love to.
I know,
That'd be fun.
Too. Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time to show us the car.
My pleasure.